Praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh.
Yahweh
Hashem,
Ba'ashem
Yahweh
Yahushai
Shai, Hashem,
Ba'ashem
Rakakwadash.
Rakwadash.
Double honors to the elders, the apostles, of great millstone. Blessings and salutations to the whole elect. Those in the gospel, brother, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. We the brothers here at GMS Kansas City, just coming to you with a quick lesson, Lord, would it be edifying. Going into the slothfulness of the Lord's business, how we not to be slothful in the Lord's business and his dealings. Because for instance, the times we're coming into some, well, we're in perilous times, which the word perilous goes into evil and dark. Okay, we're in dark and evil times, man, and tumultuous times that the Lord is getting ready to really intervene and do miracles out here. And the scriptures tell you that it says, hey, he that fainteth in the day of adversity is because the strength is small. You see what I'm saying? So being on fire for this thing, being fervent to the best of our abilities, as Paul mentioned, I desire that you show the same diligence that I show, which is until salvation. So with that being said, man, brothers, let's continue to put their best foot forward. And if you're feeling like, you're getting weak or lackadaisical, this time you got to prostrate yourself, get in a prayer position, man, and you got to ask the Most High to increase you and to build you up in the spirit, because if not, then the Lord could take the spirit off you, and before you know it, you're gonna get caught out there, man, and that's a bad place to be in this time we're coming in. So whatever precept.
Yeah, I have First Peter, Second Peter, 1:10, and says, "Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure."
Diligence, okay.
For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail.
Right, if you do these things, you should never fail. So giving diligence by aiding in the work of the Lord, doing what you can do, dealing with brothers, linking up, doing shows, even if you don't feel like it, putting out your shows, of course, because it's really what you do outside the camp. Because there was this saying that they once said in elementary school, even in high school, it's not what you do in school, but it's what you do outside the school, which shows you your understanding. Because a person can tell when you just going to camp every week and you're not doing shows or you're not really engaging in the spirit. You can see it on your spirit. You can tell by brothers' countenance and their speech and the mindsets and how they move out here, because the farther you are from the spirit, the more unwise you're going to be dealing in the world, man. Not even realizing and keeping your conversations in the heavens. You see, that's why it's always close to be grafted in the spirit of the Lord, because if not, then you're basically a conduit for Satan to come and attack you. You see?
That's right. It says, I got that word for diligent pulled up in the Greek. It says spudazo, which goes into to hasten, to make haste, to exert oneself, endeavor, give diligence. And when you go down to the strong definition, it says to use speed, to make effort, to be prompt or earnest, to give diligence, to be diligent, to endeavor, to labor, to study. So all those things are entwined into being diligent, to be prompt, to be on point, to be timely in everything you do concerning the spirit. So the main thing is making the main thing, so to speak, like the bottom line, which is pushing the scriptures. So getting into the scriptures, getting into studying the Hebrew and the Greek, going over the precepts that we have learned, going over the history that connect certain prophecies, looking at news articles as far as the current events, right? Because we call it to be watchmen. The duty of a watchman when he's on post, you can't fall asleep. You can't fall asleep or be lackadaisical when it comes to your job. Why? Because that costs lives. And ultimately, when it comes to you and your own personal walk with Yahweh Shem Shai, will cost you your salvation when you you're rocked to sleep, so to speak, and you don't understand what's going on. So that's why it's imperative to stay on our watch and to always be in the spirit. You know what I mean? To put that first. We brothers know we all have lives. We all have things we got to do in the world that are kind of entwined into being a man of the Lord. Like internet's not free. You know what I'm saying? It's not free to put gas in our cars and everything to have a car. So we got to have jobs. And some brothers have women and children. Some brothers have hobbies. But all that stuff comes second when it comes to pushing this work, because the work comes first. All the stuff in the world is all the stuff that you do outside of this is supposed to supplement the word.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to tie into this. Like, say, for example, right? Like, brothers like to go to movies a lot. Or we go and watch a movie, or you watch a movie on your alone time. Well, when you watch a movie, you be thinking of stuff in the spirit. Like, this is, you be
Mm-hmm.
making the spiritual correlations with that movie you watching. So that's the example I'm trying to make, how all the stuff that we do is supposed to correlate to, our faith.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's a part of being diligent. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like I think what they say, the truth revolves around. No, your life revolves around the truth, so to speak.
Exactly.
Like you know how they claim the Earth is the center of the solar system or the sun, whatever, and all the planets revolve around.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the truth have to be the sun in your solar system, man,
Exactly.
because it lightens everything else. And when you focus on the light of that foundation, it sheds light into everything around you. Then
Right.
everything else can prosper. Even when you out on some folly, you know what I'm saying? You are still in the spirit, okay? And you're able to enjoy your time because there is a balance. But when you out of balance and when you exhausted all your fuck off time, then you gotta buckle down and you gotta do what you gotta do. Precept real quick. This is the book Isaiah 62 and 6. It says here, I've set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which should never hold their peace day nor night. And ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence. Okay, so it says that will never hold thy peace day and
Right.
night, man.
And that's manifesting all the men of the Lord, and chiefly the men of Great Millstone. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
the brothers on fire doing lessons every day. You look at the apostles, Apostle Har, Apostle Ramla, Apostle Gabar. They doing shows multiple like every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that we all aim towards, as far as an example to be in the faith. Like, we all want that. We all want that penny. You know what I mean? We all want that same level of work ethic. You know what I'm saying? That's because that's a term in the world that they use as far as how it relates to how you deal on the job. Let's say you work as a mechanic or whatever. You have a certain work ethic that shows that you care about that job. Well, our work ethic, when it comes to the truth, is supposed to be shining, and that shows when in a brother how you get on video and the things which you speak. You can tell brother has been studying by the things which he's bringing out on video, so to speak, or what he's bringing out at camp when he's dealing amongst the Akim, whether they growing or not. That shows, man. You know.
Yeah, con. Because hey, the scriptures say living waters, man. You don't want to be stagnant. Because the scriptures say what's the John 7:38.
I'll get that
Yeah,
too.
con. Living waters, man. Because hey, we gotta constantly be moving because living waters is constantly being renewed, it's refreshed. And if you look at a running river, even though rivers this day and age are dirty, but once upon a time those rivers were crystal clear before all the pollutants. But you look at a river versus a pond and a stream, and you look at the difference between the waters. The waters of a pond or a particular or a basin, so to speak, is murky. Okay, has a lot of algae, has a lot of bacteria because it's just sitting, it's not moving. Versus a ocean or a lake or a river is constantly flowing, bringing in new waters, man. And that's how we got to be in this faith. Even if you're tired, you're broken down, you're fucked up in the spirit, you got to still continue to push forward. Because if not, then what are you in this thing for? What's the whole purpose if you're gonna sit back on your talents? Because the scriptures go into that, man. A man that hid his talents in the napkins,
That's right.
and also having faith in what having confidence in yourself, knowing that you can bring out the word. Having confidence in yourself, man. Saying like, you know what, I might not be that strong in this point, but you know what, I'm gonna teach what I know and I'm gonna bring it out to the best of my ability. The Lord sees that, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
This is John 7:38. It says, "He that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water."
Mm-hmm. There you go. It says that believing on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly should flow rivers of living water, which is this truth, this understanding, this knowledge. Okay, being engaged in this thing, man. Being proactive,
Mm-hmm.
not just okay. You go to camp and then all of a sudden, then you don't do nothing for the rest of the week. Are you praying? Are you asking and talking to the Most High? Are you studying? Are
That's
you
right.
fasting? You know, are you talking and communicating with brothers? Are you linking up doing shows with brothers? Because believe it or not, when you come together with brothers, man, that reignites that energy, man, because we
Yeah,
are feeding off one another. Versus you ain't see
definitely.
your brother in 6, 7 months outside of going to camp, then it's just like, okay, where's the relationship building? You know what I'm saying? You have to sit down and have that time with the body. The scriptures say, forsake not the gathering of the saints, man. You know, so you got to set a time that you like, all right, brother, you know, I'm gonna link up with you this week. We can break bread. Talking on the phone is cool.
Yeah,
Doing the hangouts, that's cool too, because we can see each other's face. But every once in a while, you might have to go to a brother crib or you come to your house and say, you know what, let's get something in real quick. Just let's do something 10 minutes. I need to get the motors running, so to speak. And take
right.
advantage of that, man. You know, because shit, we ain't gonna have this opportunity forever. I ain't gonna be able to just willingly come to this brother's spot and be like, hey, brother, let's go do a lesson, or vice versa. Because
Yeah,
we don't know, man, the Most High could shut this place down in a couple of days. He could shut it down tonight.
yeah,
You know, I could be on the way home from here and the fucking martial law can come and, hey, I might not never see this brother again until we get on the chariot. Then what you gonna say? Man, I should have spent time with the brothers. I should have, man. Then you gonna be fucked up,
yeah.
you know?
I got John 6:63 says, "It is the spirit that quickeneth, and the flesh profiteth nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The words I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life." Which that ties into the scripture where it says, speaks about the living waters, because the living waters ties into the spirit, which makes you alive or quickens you. Because to quicken something means to make it come alive.
Right.
So when you get entwined with the Holy Spirit and with the scriptures, that makes you come. It makes you become lively. A part of, like, for example, like an animal, right? An animal is alive because what? You can observe it. It's moving. It's moving around. It has life. It flows. The same thing when it comes to being in tune with the scriptures. Our flows, our movements is supposed to be synchronized with the spirit, right? Because look at the deeds of our people that the Most High considers dead. They, first of all, don't know anything about the scriptures. A nigga like Kyrie Irving, he's not getting on video talking about the Holy Scriptures. He's playing basketball. uh, the common Jake is what? Worried about their 9 to 5 job or going to college and getting what they believe is a better job.
Yep.
Or smoking blunts, having sex with as many women as they can. Like, you got the whole red pill community. Their whole thing is understanding female nature so they can dominate and become a better
The
a guy.
so-called
Yeah,
the masculine male,
yeah,
like,
a better guy in bed, or a better fit for
yeah.
more women, because he ain't getting no hoes because he don't understand females. Like, nah, bro. It's the thing which us as Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans supposed to be into is these scriptures. And when you are, it truly shows. Like, that's the whole point. When you really are, because you can't be a brother who's in this thing, but the word is not profiting in you, and it's not making you alive. It's not quickening you to come and do these shows on video, or to have agape amongst your akim, or to be at camp prophesying. When the word is flowing in you, it shows, man. It shows by how diligent you are to, okay, pick up that phone, pick up the scriptures, and then start going into it. That's really what it boils down to. Because remember when Moses, when he had the dialogue with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and there were men that were prophesying in the camp, and Joshua and Caleb was about to shut them down, but the Lord told him, "Look, I would rather all the children of Israel be
Prophet,
prophets,
yeah.
man. All the sons, the men. That's what the Most High really want us to be doing. You see, that's how you serve. You see, all of this is related to, you know, the service of the Lord. This is what we're supposed to be into 24/7, man, 360 fucking 5. You know?
Yeah, not just when it's convenient for you type ordeal.
That's right, bro.
Come. Hey, get that. What you got? You got that parable. What is it? Matthew's 25.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Yeah, come. But get that one in Proverbs first when it goes into thou sluggard would not apply by the way of code.
You said in Proverbs first?
Yeah, because you know, it's another thing too. Like when you look at the other camps, like Johanna has a big congregation, Nate has a big congregation. Why aren't these guys on their own platforms pushing out their own lessons outside of the classes they do every week?
Right.
If they think about all them brothers that had their own page and was able to at least do 5 to 10 minute sit downs a week, you know how much progress that would be?
Yeah. That's a lot of people. I
That's
mean, these dudes was out
yeah,
marching at
yeah,
the fucking at Barclays
yeah.
Center, at least a couple hundred of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean to tell me all these guys don't got YouTube channels? Because that shit is set up. You and what I think, this is just, my personal take, is Nathaniel Seven and the leadership knows how powerful it would be if those guys had their own channels, but they shut them down in favor of fucking marching, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to seem like they activist group or army and this and that.
And they don't want to leave this place. They really
Yeah.
don't want to leave this place, man. You know.
This is Proverbs 20:4. It says, "The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Therefore shall he beg in the harvest and have nothing." See, and that's going into these sluggardly fellows, man. It really it mentions the cold, right? So think about it. That's these camps that don't want to go out in the wintertime. ISUPK, IUIC, you know, or whatever group out there that doesn't. That's just the prominent ones that we can think of. But that goes into, it's no reason to not be out there. The Most High prescribes you as being as a sluggard,
Mm-hmm.
not, oh well, those brothers cool because they it's too cold out there. They can just chill, brother. No, you a fucking sluggard, man, for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be out there consistently,
Mm-hmm.
just like the Apostle Paul said, in season, out of season. Okay, so there's no excuse. The Most High requires service 365 because look, is not Jake always subject to sin? You mean to tell me it's not stuff going on in the winter? Hey, these past couple years, going back 2020, 2019, those winters have been some of the heaviest times when it goes into the current events.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
You had Operation Warp Speed that was going on at the tail end of 2020.
The dark
And
winter.
then the winter before that, that's when the COVID-19 got introduced. So you mean to tell me you want to take that specific time frame off, and Israel not supposed to know anything going on about that, man? You guys, man, that's why the Most High is gonna visit you for that.
Sorry. Con. Matter of fact, I got a precept real quick. I'm gonna grab that in Ezekiel 3rd chapter because we supposed to be warning. We supposed to be a watchman into the nation of Israel. Watchman, you don't get no fucking breaks. I mean, you ships. I mean, in a real scenario on a job, you get PTO and all that shit.
Right.
But even then, with that, you got somebody to come and replace you. But in this faith, man, the prophecies are always going on. The Lord ain't gonna hold up the prophecies and say, well, go ahead and take a 40-hour vacation. I'm gonna hold the prophecy up and it's gonna be here waiting on you when you get back. No, man. All hell break loose right now. You know what I'm saying? So there are no breaks. Now, of course, you got your days that you might not do shows and shit. Of course. I mean, we ain't saying be fucking just overly possessed. I mean, we're robots for the Lord, but we human. We'll break it. We'll burn down because the scriptures say about the honey that's sufficient for thee. You take your time off and get your mind right, but then you got to still be occupied in your mind. Even if you ain't doing shows, you still got to be thinking, okay, what's the news? What's the trending topic? Like, I can't go a day, even if it is on a day I'm planning on not doing no shows, I can't go a day without looking on the YouTube or seeing the current events or what's happening or what. Because even if I don't move on it at that particular time, it's already in my mindset to move on it the next time. I'm like, okay, well, Lord's will, the Spirit allows me to move on this at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Having it in your mindset so you don't fall behind. Because this thing is constant. You got to be quick, man. Quickly, constantly on your feet. And
grinds.
Yeah, constantly grinding, man. Because you Jakes, man, you be so quick to go to work and put all your time into Esau, Edom. Like, it was a big thing. Like, before I left Chicago, bro, when I was young in the faith, you had particular cats, man, they never showed up to camp because they was always at work.
Yeah.
I got to go to work, bro. I got to go to work. Well, is your job more important than the Lord? Because what if the Most High take that job from you, then what? Or if you got a job that's coming in between you going to camp every week, then you might have to find another job, man. Like last year, I give you a little testimony. I was doing the snow operations. They had me doing an overnight shift, which kind of worked out for me because I'm like, all right, I get off work at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go to camp at 2:30 that afternoon. So I'm on 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, maybe 6.5 hours of sleep, go to camp for a couple hours, then fuck around and go back to work to the next morning, man. And having that spirit of enduring, you gotta have that spirit in you, man. You know, because hey, the Lord sees everything we do, and you want the Most High to have favor in you when He comes back. Because then the scriptures say, "Hey, blessed be the man who the Son of Man find working or doing." Okay,
That's right.
so this is the book of Ezekiel. I'm gonna start at verses 3, and let's go to. I'm gonna start at verses 1. It says, "Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go and speak it to the house of Israel." Okay, what's the roll? The scriptures. Go and digesting this thing, man, understanding it, learning it, and going out and teaching other men. Because when you learn it and you understand it to a degree, you have the confidence to go out there and speak on it. But when you ain't applying yourself and you're not trying to deal with it, then you're not gonna have the confidence. And before you know it, you're just gonna be sitting in your bedroom looking stupid, man. Well, I don't know what to talk about. How the fuck you don't know what to talk about? All this information is coming out, man. Start taking notes. Get you a pen and notepad. Write 4 scriptures and make it a lesson, man. You know, it's not that hard. It just, you got to apply yourself. All right. And it says, and so as I open my mouth, he calls me to eat that roll and said it to me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it and was in my mouth as honey for sweetness, man. Okay. Because it's sweet when you're learning this thing. You like it. You're like, oh shit, this is the taste of the Lord's Supper. But then it gets bitter too, because now you got to deal with the cold. You got to deal with the demons. You got to deal with sickness, man. You got to deal with people coming against you. You got to deal with losing shit. Like the apostles always say, a demon may hop on your car, demon hop on your woman, demon hop on your ass, man. You know, and the reason it says, and he said it to me, Son of man, go get thee into the house of Israel and speak with my words unto them. So we supposed to speak to our people, man, and tell them.
That's right.
Get the blood off your hands.
Again, it goes back to that point where it says the word quickeneth.
Yeah.
And this is the time for Israel to wake up. See, because it's a hefty work the Most High is working right now through his prophets. That the whole objective is to spread this word into those that are meant to get it. How can Israel get it if they don't hear? Scriptures tell you faith come by hearing of the word.
Right.
So if they don't hear you, then where does the faith come in? You think they just gonna pick up the scriptures themselves and understand? Like Ron Dalton claims to have gotten this nigga. Oh, the Most High. I read the Deuteronomy and the curses.
And butchered it like nigga. Like how the fuck? Like
you full of shit, my guy. But anyway, the point is the prophets. You know, when we go into these scriptures, it helps to wake our people up. You know, we know the Most High is using us as vessels, so the credit goes to Him. You know, the credit ultimately goes to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And these are Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's words. And through Yahweh Shai's sacrifice, we get access to it. And that's why he gets the glory and his position as well.
God.
So we're called under the blood of Yahweh Shai as well. So it's like when you don't do with the script, like the scriptures go into sinning willfully, right? It's like you crucify the Son of Man afresh, you know, because guys that get weary in the truth, they're not pushing out as many shows, they start missing camp. Well, before you know it, they back in the world. Yeah. And that's why the scriptures go into when you do that and try to come back, that's like crucifying the Lord anew.
Yeah, because they say don't be weary and well doing.
Yep. So the apostles, you know, and I'm talking about the apostles, the 12 apostles like Apostle Peter and so forth. When Yahweh Shai departed from teaching them 40 days and 40 nights, the Spirit came upon those men, and they went hardcore. They went hard fucking core, man. To the point where, what was it? James, he got killed in the prison. Look, they had the Pharisees had to threaten them with death to say, "Didn't we teach you not to teach in this name?" They said, "Nah, man, fuck it. We about to teach." You know what I'm saying? They had that joy in the diligence. That was the diligence right there. If you want to talk about an example of diligence in the scriptures, it's right there. Because the Pharisees beat them and said, "Didn't we straightway tell you not to teach in this name?" And guess what? They taught anyway. Guess what? They were in the marketplaces healing believers anyway.
Yep.
And that's diligence, man.
God.
Because we experience obstacles. You can't be like, oh man, my woman, she left. Bro, I'm so sad. Or, I can't see my kids. Or I just lost my job, so I just can't teach. Nah, no, my God. You gotta keep going, no matter what.
Yep.
This is what we signed for. Because as long as you got breath in your body, you got lips, you got a tongue, you got eyes, you got hearing. You're supposed to be teaching. There's no excuse.
Come on. Well, this is the book of Acts 18, and I'm gonna start at verses. I'm gonna start at 1. It says, "After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth, and found a certain Jew by the name of Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy, and his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them. And because he was of the same craft, he abode with them and wrought, for by their occupation they were tent makers. But it says, and he reasoned in the synagogues every Shabbat and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks. And then Silas and Timotheus come from Macedonia. Paul was pressed in the spirit and testified to the Jews that Yahushua was the anointed. And when they opposed themselves and blasphemed, he shook his raiment and said unto them, your blood be upon your own heads. I am clean, and henceforth I will go unto the Gentiles, man.
That shows you how heavy it is, their rejection.
Yeah.
He said, your blood be upon your own, meaning
Like,
you're going to die.
Yeah, like
meaning you chose death from this point. For me teaching Yahushua, he said, your blood be upon you. And that's heavy too, because what accusation could he go to in the law to say, well, you will perish if you don't listen to this man? Well, I mean, you can go, what is that? When the Lord said, I send my angel before thee, and you must hearken unto him. That was the angel that led the children of Israel
that was
from the Exodus. That was Yahushua.
Yeah.
The Lord basically said, you don't listen to him, you'll perish. So Paul reiterated the same thing, said, your blood be upon you, because you rejected the Savior. You know?
God. Bring that parable.
Yeah, this is Matthew 25:14. It says, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, and to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability. And straightway took his journey.
Right. So every man have their own talents in this thing. So you have to be content with what you got. You can't be mad at a brother because the Lord gave him 10 talents and gave you 1. The Lord know what he did. He know what he's doing when he created you. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just put 1 talent in his brother. And it shows, because it shows you, okay, he may be weaker in this area. He may not be as strong in this area. So I'm gonna give him something to work with, which is good for you, because the scriptures say much that is given to much will be required. So if you're a brother with 10 talents, then you got to perform that. You got to walk in them shoes, so to speak. Lord ain't going to give you 10 talent fold if you 1 talent. That ain't your requirement. But if you heads of camps and stuff like that, and you not, showing the example for younger brothers, you know what I'm saying? You ahead of a camp, but yet you got men under you that's doing more than you, then something is wrong with that picture. Then maybe you shouldn't be the head of the group or the camp, because those men supposed to look up to you for experience and guidance when times hit the fan, and knowing how to deal with shit. Go ahead.
It says, then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise, and that goes into how the man with ability, depending on your ability, you multiply on that. So meaning, from the point of getting the truth, you increase it. You get on a different level. You get on a level to where what you receive, you grew beyond it, and you exerted more effort. You see what I mean? All that comes through that doubling of the talents comes through exerting effort into the truth.
Yep.
Putting your foot forward and moving forward, inching forward, striding forward, however much is appropriate at that time to make good on what you received. So a brother that is diligent from the point of receiving the truth unto the end, well, that's a brother that's multiplying his talents.
Right.
It says in And likewise, he that received two, he also gained another two. But he that received one went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money.
Ashamed, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not satisfied with what he's got. You know, he's mad, got attitude. You know, afraid. You know, why that brother could do more than I can do. I supposed to be, you know, I'm older, man. I can do this and this and that. Why he is the head of camp and he's younger than me? Nah, man. Because you ain't doing nothing but fooling yourself with that mentality. You know, you shooting yourself in the foot because you're looking at the flesh, man. You're thinking you're dealing in the flesh and not the spirit. Is the reason why you have those demons messing with you. And it could get to brothers, man, when you see brothers outperforming because we're competitive men by nature, but ultimately that ain't supposed to stop your walk. That's not supposed to make you feel some type of way or look at the next man like he's just not right because you not right in the spirit. You should see that man and it should motivate you to want to do better. You know, and use your competitive traits in that way because the scriptures goes about us competing righteously against each other, man. Like coming up, it was, you know, if you see, like it was, I was always fascinated with the martial arts and gymnastics and shit. And when I didn't know how to do it and I saw other people that did it, it compelled me to want to do it. You know, like you see brothers bringing it out, going into precepts, and that should motivate you and say, you know what, I want to bring it out just as fluent as that brother, but I want to bring it out in the way that the Spirit has proclaimed me to do so. How can I be solid and be on that level and challenge yourself? You know, be better, man, to yourself. Don't be bad to yourself. You know, it's a good thing to learn. It feels good when you can look at the tribes and recite the meaning of them and say them in the Hebrew. That's an accomplishment, man. You should be happy that you can do that. You know, have confidence, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
It says, after a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And this time that it take is the time when Yahweh Shai returns. You see, he's going to reckon with each and every one of us depending on what our works have been in the truth. You understand? So it is boils down to doing lessons, boils down to on the highways and byways, and it boils down to your conduct. You know what I'm saying? Your conduct in all things amongst the brotherhood when you're functioning in the world. Because we're supposed to function as lights among the darkness.
Yeah.
So you can't function as a nigga and be on video or at camp and then you super on fire, but then your conduct when it comes to when you're around people is just perverse. See?
Yeah, you all offbeat, you out of the spirit. It's like a symphony or a song or harmonizing song. We all harmonizing together, you all beat. You're not in the spirit, you random as fuck.
Yeah.
You jumping to conclusions, you all over the place here. We talking about the missiles are getting ready to drop and how the chariot's gonna be in the kingdom, and you talking about some fucking Bitcoin, or you talking about some goddamn woman, or you talking about what you used to do in the world. I remember, man, I used to sell this and that. Nobody give a shit about that, man. We talking about the kingdom of heaven. You talking about some folly that ain't got nothing to do with that. Say that conversation for another time, man.
Yeah. It says, and after a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And also to add to that, that's scary, man. You can't look. Jake that be lackadaisical about the truth. You don't got no fucking fear, man. Because when the Lord come and reckon with you, that's not him. Oh, well, how you doing, my son? You flipped them talents. No, that's the Lord. Hey, if you didn't do right, I'm gonna fucking hit your ass with a missile, nigga. That's how he gonna come. And really, when he reckons, he ain't gonna talk. He's gonna talk with you. What you gonna see if you have not done right? You're gonna see a missile coming towards you. You see what I mean?
Hey, the brother gave a testimony earlier. He said when he came into the truth, he just said, Lord, man, whatever the truth is, just reveal it to me. He said he received a call within hours of that same day. A nigga that's not in truth anymore broke it down. And then he said that he heard a voice come to him and say, well, look, man, now this is the truth. He said, look, if you don't do the right thing, I'm going to kill you and your family. He said the Lord told him just like that. He said, look, nigga, you don't do the right thing. He said it was calm, but it was stern. He said, if you don't do the right thing, I'm going to kill you. We in this thing by threat. The Lord is watching us, man. The scopeo is on all of us.
Yeah, because that's what it boils down to. The prophecy of Zechariah 13,
yeah,
which goes into the 2/3 perishing in the land. This is happening by the threat of death, life or death.
Yeah.
That's a central theme throughout the scriptures. Even when Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is breaking it down to the Israelites in the wilderness, he said, I set before thee life or death. Ain't nothing changed since then. Nothing has fucking changed. See, Jake think, okay, well, if I eat bad, I get cancer and die, or if I play with guns, I die. No, if you are not in the grace of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you die.
Period.
If you're in his good graces, you have a chance to live. You have a chance to make it out of the destruction. You know, and that ties into being a man of the Lord. Keeping those graces is staying diligent. That's the thing. Keeping the graces is staying diligent, staying in the spirit, pressing forward in the truth, you know. And keep going. It says, and so that he that had received 5 talents came and brought the other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful in over a few things. I'll make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. And I want to look up that word for faithful, because faithful ties into this word, because both of those words for faithful, where it says thou faithful servant and thou hast been faithful, is the same word, and it's pistos, which goes into trusty, faithful, of persons who show themselves faithful in transaction of business, the execution of commands, or the discharge of official duties. One who kept his plighted faith worthy of trust, that can be relied upon. It says believing, confiding, trusting. So that is what it means to be faithful. Is when the Lord entrusts you with something and you believe so much that you make good on it. You see? It's not just something, and that it ties into what many may think of as faith, which is something that is in your mind, like something that's how you say intangible, right? Because in the current circumstance, we can't see Yahweh Shai himself. We can't see the angels. We can't see the missiles, so to speak. I mean, we know they're out there. You can watch a video about nuclear missiles, but and brothers actually do see UFOs. We have crazy testimonies of UFOs, but like the actual day of the Lord, we don't have no true confirmation that this is gonna happen. But because we believe it, we have faith in that. The Lord gave us these talents. He gave us this faith. He gave us the things we know. Well, you keep going in that. And the fact that you keep going, it proves that that belief is still there. Because dudes that start, getting lackadaisical, so to speak, are slothful, lazy, they don't want to do this, is because that belief that our Lord is actually coming back, it starts to faint. Like, they be like, oh, well, maybe it turns from, okay, maybe the Lord, he's going to come back 5 years. Maybe 10 years, maybe 20. He's not going to come at all.
That's why it says they begin to delay the coming of the Lord, and we start to smite their fellow servants, man. Start to be evil to their fellow servants because they feel like the Lord delayed his coming. Yep. Like certain brothers got like you gotta have a mindset of being in this thing until you die, man. You know what I'm saying? You may be,
death do us part,
let's just say, I bet Lord will forbid this happen, which I don't see it happen. Let's say, Lord forbid, we have to be out there until we 60 years old. You gotta have that in your mindset. You gotta have an endurance mindset, man. Yeah. A lot of Jake, they just like, all right, this shit gonna end in 5 years. I got a 5-year plan. The Lord don't come back, then I'm checking out. You can't think like that, because you got to understand this is a lifestyle. Okay, the prophets of old, when you read in the Bible, when the Lord called them to be prophets at whatever time, certain men got called to be prophets later on. Certain men were they were always prophets in the spirit, but certain men didn't get their calling until a certain time. Like Jeremiah got his calling at a young time, at a young man. He was a prophet until he died, man. Yes. Jonah was like, all right, man, when Nineveh didn't go down at that time, he didn't stop serving the Lord, even though he was pissed off. But hey, he realized that being a Hebrew Israelite, that's a lifestyle, man. This ain't no goddamn fad. This ain't no Christian
Yeah,
shit.
right. Because that ties into a lot of the stuff that's going on right now. Is Israelites are finding out about their origin, right? A lot of so-called black people in America, because of these recent trends that's been going on. Well, it's deeper than you think, man. Ain't just about knowing you're an Israelite. It's about knowing everything about being an Israelite and maintaining. You have to maintain being an Israelite. You don't just be one. You have to maintain it. Look what happened to our ancestors. They knew they were Israelites, but did they maintain it? Were they steady in that? Were they steadfast? No. And then that's why from process of time, what did they become? Gentiles. The same thing can happen to us. If we don't maintain and being an Israelite, new believers, if you don't maintain and being an Israelite, you go back to being a fucking Gentile, man. And the Most High will have no mercy on you when he sends these missiles this way. He's going to look at you as a fucking Elamite or Edomite or Hamite. Because those same people, whether you're any of those other 17 nations, you're going to eat a fucking missile, man.
That's right.
Most High don't care how much curry you done serve to the black community, man. You an Elamite, you gonna get hit with a goddamn missile. You in America, man. You don't care how cool you are. You get giving Jake free blunt wraps and shit. You know what I'm saying? You giving them free of the gas station chicken. Nah, you gonna die. So this the same thing when you're an Israelite. You don't maintain. Most High will take you out.
And it says Hebrews 6. It says 6 number started verses 5. It's 4. It says it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted of the heavenly gifts and were made partakers of the Holy Ghost and have tasted the good word of the Most High and the powers of the world to come, if they should fall away, to renew them again to repentance, seeing they crucified to them the Son of Man afresh and put him to open shame. And also the scriptures go into your works not following you. You fall out this truth. All the shit you did, you can fall out a day before the destruction come. The Lord ain't gonna remember none of that.
Right.
You know, that's why the scriptures say, the dead that shall rise in Yahweh first, their works do follow them. So men like Elder Abba Bivens, those men, those great men, which is Elijah, by the way, King David being King Mashah, we believe through the Spirit. Okay, though we don't really speak on that history because that's really not our place to speak on it. But those men, it says works that do follow them, because their works are measured in the heavens, and when they come back, they're gonna come back in their respective lots. But you guys out there that's not really taking this thing serious, man, it's a scary thing. Okay. After you bring that precept up, after we finish the parable, log on to the page, and we're gonna get a couple of these precepts off, and we're gonna shut it down.
Is it KC Living Waters?
Come on. Hey, you got some water in here, bro?
Yeah, check in that closet right there. I'm gonna keep reading. This is Matthew 25 and 21. It says, do you see it back there? There should be some bottles, like kind of in the back part.
Huh?
Should be some waters like towards the back. You see it?
I see an empty thing.
Hold on, Salak.
I mean, I see some of those jugs and shit. I think that was empty. I'm gonna get some of these off the comment board. Your brother's going in on his comment board tonight, man. Let's see what we got right here. Khan can't go a day without thinking about how about Shimi, how we shot the water, brother. Kazak Banya Howard, this is Sirach 14 and 20. It says, blessed is the man that doth meditate good things in wisdom, and that reason of holy things by his understanding. That's right, man. Meditating on his faith, meditating on the scriptures, man. Meditating on the hell to come. Because that's every day, man. That's my time. I'm ready to get the fuck up out of here. You know, we ready to get up out of here. We ready to get new bodies. These bodies are old and sick, man. Heart palpitations and stuff like that, man. You know, being around people that got the job. I found out being around people that got that fucking juice, man. We're basically inhaling spike proteins, man. You can touch a person or be around them that took that shit. It make you sick.
Exactly.
I'm like, wow, you know. We fucked, and that alone out here should make you want to be diligent.
This is Matthew 25 and 21 again. It says, His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. And that shows you the balance, or I should say the imbalance in between what we're doing compared to what we're going to get. Because the Lord said we've been faithful in few things, but you can get many.
He gonna supersede
He will
you.
reward you with plentiful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a motivating factor when it comes to sticking to what we believe. Even though the losses come with a heavy price, it will fuck with your emotions. It will deplete you on a certain level, but it doesn't break you. What it does is it shakes up your spirit to allow the Most High to be with you even more.
Mm-hmm.
For you brothers out there that may be experiencing all this fucking hell and you still moving forward in the Lord, well, the Most High is make you go through this shit so He can make you a better you. That's all that is. God. So it says he also had that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things.
Those will be straight galaxies. Lord will give you 20 galaxies off that, man. And hey, I'm gonna ask you brothers this. Which of you brothers ever thought of hustling and not flipping, man? What's the whole point of hustling if you ain't gonna flip that shit? Because just like if you hustling just to stay in the same level, let's just do some common shit. Let's just say if you sell t-shirts or something like that.
I was thinking of that.
Yeah, you sell t-shirts or some shit. The whole profit is to flip that what you got so you can make more money, so you can get more. Mm-hmm. You don't just like, all right, I spend $90 on a shipment and all of a sudden I spend it just to make $90 back. What's the fucking point?
Stupid.
That's you hustling backwards, man. You just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Damn.
Jake, man. Jake. Go ahead, brother.
Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawn. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant.
He said, Thou wicked. Hey, well, you're right. He said, the wicked.
Yeah.
The wicked.
And you notice the other 2 men were called faithful and good. He called him wicked and slothful.
You wicked nigga. And the Lord hates a lazy nigga. One thing about Jake is lazy, man.
Yeah, especially Judah, man. You Judites, man. You niggas just like to sit on your ass and smoke blunts, man.
You just some fucking lazy ass niggas, man. And I get it. We all got our moments we don't want to do shit. I got my moments. I'm like, fuck, I ain't doing shit. But even then, you got to still have a proactive type mindset, man. Because sometimes your body might not be able to perform to where you want it, but your mind got to be willing to do it. If your mind is willing to do it and wants to do it and have the ambition, then eventually you pull yourself out of that rut, man. You know, but you Jakes are just lazy, man. You don't care. You don't care about the Lord, man. You don't have no passion to this thing. You got to reignite your passion for this shit, man. And Slocky, not shit, but you got to reignite your passion for this faith. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you're going to find yourself just going through the motions. We've all been there when we were just going through the motions. And sometimes you don't even realize you're going through the motions. You know, this can't be like a chore. Like, chores are very tedious. You know, and the truth is very tedious. It's very tedious, but in a good way. Because it's just making you better. But, like, I used to hate coming home from school. I had to clean up and do homework. That shit is it's tedious. You can't treat this like that. Oh, I got to do another lesson. Oh, fuck. And you do be tired. Because every time, I'm not going to lie and tell you every week I feel like going out to speak. I don't. We don't. The apostles even say sometimes you just don't be in the spirit to want to do shit. But the spirit hits you. Like, honestly speaking, like, I'm like, if I don't hear from this brother at a certain time, shit, I don't know if I'm going to feel like still doing a show. I didn't feel like coming over here and doing it, but through the spirit, I'm like, fuck it, we got to do it.
And that's how I felt too. Like, before the bro came, like maybe an hour.
Yeah.
I was like definitely tired, like exhausted. Ready to fall asleep. But now I'm just doing this lesson now, and I'm awake. Got the little bit of the Yeezy.
Yeezy.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't fuck with it that much this week, man. I fucked up, man. I took a little shot of Grey Goose, man, and the medicate. You know, when you on medication and shit like that, you got to do that shit in moderation. I haven't drank shit in over a week, man, but I don't like the way it's giving me a side effect. So I'm like, I'm gonna just lay off of it until this shit is out of my system completely, man. So y'all brothers, y'all can have at it, man. Y'all have at it. I'm cool.
All right, so like we gotta battle through any type of emote, you know, because when you think about that word emotion, well, you go to the root of emote is just how you feel at any particular time. So if you're pissed off at something, sad, happy, right? Tired, exhausted, anxious, scared, disappointed. It's a very jealous. There's varied ways you could be feeling on any given fucking day, right? But no matter what, you have to maintain in this work because that's discipline, right? You want to chase discipline over being motivated. Fuck motivation. And when you're motivated, yes, it makes it much easier to do what you need to do. But you're not going to be motivated all the time.
Fuck no.
You have to be disciplined, which the root of all the wisdom of the scriptures is what? Fear.
Yo.
Fear. Fear will galvanize you to do what you need to do no matter how you fucking feel. Okay?
But what do they call any sport that deals with fighting? They call it a discipline.
Discipline, yeah.
Yeah, martial art, it's a discipline, man. You think Mike Tyson felt like getting up 4 o'clock in the morning?
Right.
Every morning jogging.
Jog.
Hell no.
Yeah.
You know?
Following behind somebody on a bike and shit.
Yeah. But when you begin to love to do when you love to do what you do, then you find that motivation, you find that driving force to pull it out of you. See, in that time, he loved it. But when he stopped loving the sport of boxing, that's when he stopped training. That's when he started losing. That's when he stopped giving a fuck. He was partying all the time.
Yeah.
Because he stopped caring. Because he just like, I don't care about this shit no more. It's boring. It ain't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
You know? And we can't get in that mindset because when we just get in this, like, oh, this is just another religion, you're going to stop doing shows. Before you know it, you're going to be back in the world, man. And ultimately, if you in the world, it's because the Lord didn't want you. You wasn't of the elect. Because it really boils down to the elect, man. That's the scary thing about it, because the scriptures say this righteous shall scarcely be saved.
Yeah.
You know?
Like that precept we brought out earlier, to make thy calling and election sure. To make it stable and steady, and confirm the fact that the Most High called you into this thing is by doing the work. Your work is not confirmed through some imaginary shit, like, you know what I'm saying, like whatever you may think, it's through consistency. Consistency is what confirms whether you are chosen or not. Now you got people that, okay, like for example, High Priest Ariah. The apostles always go into, well, you know, he may be into what he's into now, but the Lord, he's gonna have mercy on him. But shit, we ain't all High Priest Ariah, man.
No, right.
You know what I'm saying? We can't all fall into that example with that category. So, hey, we don't know what our fate will be. So the best thing to do if you don't know what's gonna happen to you is what you do now.
Right.
Like a lot of people, like, they're so stupid. They live in the now. Like they say, well, I don't know what the future is gonna hold. Well, we don't know either. But the best way to get into a favorable position in the future, or to get the best out of it, is to the work that you put in right now. Right now. You see?
Yeah.
Just like when you're a farmer, right? You don't know whether your harvest is going to be good or bad. Depending on the weather, depending on if your seeds may fail. But what the fuck can you do? You're going to plow them fields, you're going to plant them seeds, you're going to do all that shit any goddamn way.
Yeah. Like,
because that beats not doing it at all. Because if you don't do it at all, you're not going to get shit.
Yeah. And yeah, that's a good idea and analogy about farming, because a lot of times they don't know what type of produce of crops or what particular corn strains they're going to develop that year. You know what I'm saying? They're like, look, man, it just depend on the harvest, man. You know, we may have an overly fucking dry summer So that time we plant in the fall, by next spring and summer, we might not get shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like a gamble, man. But like I always say, this is like generational wealth we're building. Like all the shit Jake talk about generational wealth and that ain't guaranteed. But the scriptures say, we read it earlier. Hey, give diligence to make thy calling and election sure. If you do these things, they should not fail. So if you remain in this thing, because the key to this, brothers, is enduring. Okay, like I said, it wouldn't be a fight if it was gonna be easy. It's enduring. It's all it is really enduring and continue to go through it no matter what. Yeah, it's gonna get scary, it's gonna get bumpy. You're gonna have things in them that's gonna shake your faith and your foundation. You may come down with a life or death illness, man, that fuck with your breathing. You like shit, man, and it makes it that much harder to be diligent, but you gotta still try. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee what? A crown of life. All right.
That's right, bro. This brother Kazak Bunny Howard, he's trying to outshine us with the precepts on the comic book, man.
Bro.
He,
Hey,
brother,
he be throwing
putting up that fire.
Hey, he be throwing them out there, man. I'm like, damn.
But hey, you're doing your job, bro. That's good.
God.
Going back to Matthew 25, in verse 26, it says, "The Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents.
Right, man. He like, me, you know what, man? Fuck this shit, man. Give it to this guy. Don't want to do it. You don't want it, man. You don't want this, man.
Yep.
Look, either show up, do the job, go home.
And what the Lord has explained, he said, thy own mouth condemned thee, because these same guys that fall out or whatever, that's not doing what they supposed to do well, they know all fucking ready. You been told what your house shot gonna do. Nigga can't sit there and say, well, I didn't know. Like, you know. We doing a video right now about it, so you know. But I mean, come on. You know, so there's no excuse.
That's why I go into it says that that's make sure you build that. It said any man that build it, don't count the cost. Do you have the materials that's sufficient for you to finish building? Like if you a contractor, you go and bid out $100 million contract. Sometimes you may overbid just to have that extra money so you can have extra materials to finish the fucking job. Because the scriptures say that if you don't consider the cost and you don't finish the job, then you're gonna be made a mockery out of. And that's the biggest thing. You know how many people we told was gonna die on the highways and the byways? You know how fucking ashamed that will be if we didn't put all that energy out there and we fucking fall out. The motherfucker look at us like, yeah, nigga, now all that shit you talk, now you right here with us. Now you finna catch, you gonna get fucked up more than that.
Right, with us.
Beating with many stripes. I don't want no smoke with that shit, because hey, we didn't rebuked a lot of people, man. And I always ask the Lord, man, all the time. I say, you know, Lord, forgive me, you know, if I offended people or whatever it may have been, because I don't want to genuinely have that type of energy like it can't come back, because that shit can come back to you, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always try to examine and make sure I'm in a pure spirit doing so, and I ain't just out there disputing, talking shit, man. Because people are looking for the people that you curse out. They looking for you to be out there with them. Yeah. And women that you didn't, man, that woman waiting on your ass like, yeah, nigga, I want to see if you gonna keep going. Like I remember when I first came into this thing, my bonehead auntie on my father's side, she gonna say, "Oh, that's just another religion. You gonna end up moving and doing something else like y'all always do."
Islam.
Yeah, man. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. I'm like, this is the truth. The scriptures say this is the true. Walk ye in it. If it was of us, then that may have been the case. But no, this is of Yahweh Shemi Havashai. There's nowhere else to go outside of this. This is it. Okay. We're going to wrap it up in a minute.
Verse 29 says, "For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance, but from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth." See? And that weeping and gnashing of teeth is going into the missiles, because the missiles is going to produce that, that effect on the people of weeping. What the fuck are people weeping at now? Not much. When you gnash your teeth, it's like clenching, like how Wolverine be before he about to fuck up Sabretooth in the X-Men comics. That's the gnashing of teeth. But let's imagine that in a more frightening or in pain type of feeling, like when a woman is about to give birth, she clenching her teeth down because it's very painful the process she's going through. Well, it's the same thing when the Most High puts the judgment on those who are his enemies. And you're counted as an enemy if you receive the truth and you do nothing with it. Or you're counted as slothful with it. So that's very scary, man.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very scary. And that's why the spirit helps on brothers to do these type of lessons every so often so we could maintain that fear within ourselves first and foremost and push that vibration out amongst the body. Like, look, this is not a hobby. We don't just do this in our spare time and it's something fun. Nah, this is a life or death task.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the mafia or the mob or a gang, so to speak. Not to put it in those wicked terms, but it's similar. Because when you you got this job to do, you part of the mob, you got to take this dude out. If you don't do it, they're going to kill you. If you don't do the job, you don't do certain jobs, you don't make certain payments, you getting taken out. The boss like, hey, we got to kill him now. This nigga didn't do what we said, but now we got to kill him.
Yeah,
it's that deep.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
How many more precepts you got on that? Like 3, 2? It's a couple of.
We have Romans 12 and 11 and Proverbs 26 and 16 on the list.
Comment board.
No, on the list.
The list I gave you. Okay, con. Yeah, we could bring those out, man. Damn, y'all brothers are putting out some good comments, man. Some good precepts. Luke 17 and 9. Matter of fact, Luke 17 and 9, it says, doth he that think the servant because he did the things that were commanded him, I trow not. So likewise, ye, when ye should have done all those things which ye are commanded, we are still unprofitable servants. Is right. It says we've done all which was our duty to do. Because you can't brag on your works and say, well, I did, nigga. Like when Peter asked Yahushua, he said, well, we did all these things and we followed it. What should we get? The Lord could have said, you ain't doing shit. I ain't got to give you shit. This is just what you're supposed to be doing. He could have just said that. Because this is the scripture. This is our rightful service to men, to go out and teach our people. As foolish as it is, because the scriptures say, through the foolishness of preaching, we're going to save them that believe. But regardless of that, this is what we're supposed to be doing, man. The Lord ain't got to give us shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But, hey, he's not a power that he's selfish. So he's like, you know what? Shit, y'all going to have everything I'm going to have, man. Mm-hmm. You think Yahushua wasn't diligent? Hell yeah, he was diligent. Yeah. You know?
This is Romans 12 and 11. It says, not slothful in business.
Go up
first. Salaki, verse 10, it says, be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love, in honor, preferring one another. Let's look up the word preferring. Some understanding. The word preferring is proege omahi. Oh, let's say that out loud.
Yeah. 4285. Proege omai.
Okay, that's why that. It says,
Strong's G 42.
To go before and show the way, to go before and lead, to go before as a leader. So preferring one another, in other words, you're showing a brother how to conduct himself through your actions, you know, and also part of it is breaking bread, exhorting, reproving, rebuking. Those are the things we do to maintain our walk amongst each other, because we're a body. We're not just this brother doing him over here, he's doing him, I'm doing me. Nah, we're the wolf pack, baby.
We collective,
so to speak. Not in the wicked terms, because we know the scriptures speak on wolves unfavorably in certain instances. But
yeah, because a nigga take that yeah, take that and scoff.
We the wolf pack in the Benjamite sense, if you want to put it like that.
Raven and wolves.
Raven and wolves. That's out here. We're clicked up and we're moving forward in our job, man. Like, you know, just like wolves themselves, they move in synchronization. They actually like plan out hunts. Like you have one of them that go and go before and scare the herd, and then you got a pack that separates themselves and they go ahead the curve and they fucking catch the weak ones at the back of the herd and shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's how we move. That's how we move, man. So going on, it says verse 11, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. And fervent, that's also where you get the word fever. In other words, to be on
Hot.
fire.
All right, yeah.
Like the scriptures say, because thou art lukewarm, I will spew thee out. You can't be lukewarm.
Right, because if you ain't fervent for your business is gonna fall, man. You know, when you're a business owner, man, you gotta be on point with that shit. You gotta work hours you might not want to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, people brag about getting businesses, but when you start your business, man, you gotta be up sometimes hours of days to try to come up with a plan to make it work. You know, especially when you want to promote your product. So it's the same thing with the Lord. That's why it tells you in the book of I think it's Acts the 5th chapter when it says find seven earnest men of good report that be a little bit roughly paraphrasing being over the Lord's tables, over the Lord's business, man. Men of earnest report that's gonna do this thing the right way. They read the business model, they seen it and they was like, okay, well, this is the materials, this is what we need, this is how we gotta do it, this is what we gotta set up, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. And they made this shit work, man. The men of the Lord are men that make shit happen. All right. And it don't get done just by talking. You gotta put your best foot forward and acting on this shit, man. Because if not, you're just gonna be found out about. Okay, because let's just say 2, 3 sit downs a week, you know what I'm saying? Then you fall off from that. Then before you know it, you down to 1 day a week. Then before you know it, you ain't praying. Then you down to 1 day at camp, Then after that, you just don't show up no more. And I'm gonna just be real. Look, man, you guys out there that got that going on in your groups, man, you gotta rectify that, man, because that becomes leaven. Because that spirit will rub off on the entire group. That's why the scriptures say leaven, leaven the whole lump. You got men like that in your camp. You need to fucking get rid of them, man. If they not performing to the standard of what they say, the apostles of great millstone, if you giving double honors and they're not performing according to the way it's written, then you got to get rid of those men. You got to get rid of the men, man. Okay? Get rid of them or suspend them, do something. You can't be afraid to be a fucking asshole. When you a leader, you got to be the fucking bad guy, man.
Yeah.
So right. What? They do a video on you. So what? Let them. But at this point in time, ain't nothing. If you come in between and you stopping my growth, then you got to get the fuck out of here, man. Period. You got to fucking go, man. You going to stop the growth of other men around her, then you got to fucking go. Do your own thing until you get your shit in your mind right. And sometimes guys need to go out and do their own thing so they can know what it's like to not fuck around, because so they can feel the Lord. Mm-hmm. Period. Some guys just need to be on their own. Yeah. That's the only way they gonna fucking get it.
Verse 12, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. Mm-hmm. So instant in prayer, going into praying all the time, patient in tribulation, because you have to have somewhat of a emotional contentment for everything you go through. Let's just say like you stub your toe or whatever. That's just an example. Got a hangnail. You shouldn't be, oh, what the fuck? You got to let things roll off your shoulder. That shows a level of maturity when you're in the faith, is when you're very lighthearted about what comes your way and you start not giving a fuck. But also, that comes through experiencing certain things. You gonna just have that overnight. I mean, some brothers been through a lot to where they might have that attribute just when they first come into this thing. But a lot of brothers are young men. A lot of brothers may have grown up emotional, may have never dealt with the hardships of life and really accepted it. Because when hardships come your way, it's easy to complain and be fucked up about it. No, why is this happening to me? Oh, I'm so mad right now. But you also have to think, like, for every problem, there's a solution, is it not? That's a part of being wise. So every problem that comes our way, there's a solution. Whether it's just going through it, enduring it, or like going into the recesses of your mind and figuring it out. You see? All those things keep you rolling forward and keep you growing. The 5 talents into 10, that can't come but through growth. You see? That's a part of this. So whether the Lord take your job, ailments, he take your woman, that is character building. That's character building, man. He puts you on a different level. You see what I mean? Let's go to the next one. Proverbs 26 and 16.
Mm-hmm. I got this in Timothy, Second
Oh,
Timothy
you
4
get yours, bro.
and 2. It says, "Preach the word, be instant in season and out of season.
Mhm.
Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine." Okay, exhort, reprove, long suffering, man. This thing is all about long suffering, all about endurance, bro. We can't stress that enough. Cross country runners always made the best runners because they can go the distance versus a sprinter. They can run a couple of meters and they win it. Well, not even win it, but the race is over with. But this thing is about running cross country, man. Building those lungs up. It's like, prime example, you on a treadmill, you may start off 3 minutes and then you coast in 10 minutes. Then before you know it, you be running 40, 50 minutes without even breaking a sweat for real. To the point you got to go harder to break the sweat because that's the whole purpose of running, to break the sweat. But the point is endurance. But it reads here and it says, "But have in due times." Oh shit, Salaki, my bad. It says, "But for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust they should heap to themselves having teachers having itching ears, and they should turn away their ears from the truth and should be turned into fables. But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry," man. Okay, so hey, practicing what you preach. When you go into certain things, prophecies, man, hey, make full. Go into the precepts, go into the scriptures, talking points. Hey, this, that. Going into the mark of the beast, hey, expound your knowledge base, incorporate more things into your teachings if you got to. If you feel you're getting too stagnant or complacent in what you're doing. Learn more precepts, man. Or shit, if you can't, then bring out what you know and continue to push that. Okay, because that goes back into that one talent like we mentioned earlier. All right, and it says, "For now I am ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. But I have fought the good fight, I have finished my course, I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness,
Mhm.
which the Lord, the righteous judge, should give me at thy day,
Right. And
and,
us, so like you can read the rest.
and not to me only, but unto all them that also love his appearance." And you know why he said it like that? Because he had confidence in what he was doing.
Mhm.
He knew he endured it all.
And I want to push on that point where it said he fought the good fight. Why did he fight the good fight? Because the scriptures also speak about the oppositions that came to the Apostle Paul's ministry.
Mm-hmm.
He had unbelievers of the Jews ready to stone him, and they did stone him. They actually killed him,
him.
but they tried to stone him on several other occasions before they got him. You see, he had the Roman authorities up his neck to imprison him. Right? He had ailments in his flesh, which he prayed 3 times for the Lord to take away, and the Lord said, "My grace is sufficient." Okay, he had to get, and this is the thing, he had to get over the hump of only his own self, right? When he was uh, Saul, and he was killing believers. Do you not think that that should fuck his mind up? Like, damn, I called myself a man of the Lord, but I was killing believers. He probably dealt with that burden his whole walk. Like, dang, you know what I mean? Not to mention being shipwrecked. But it said he fought, right? He fought the good fight of faith. So he all those things that came against him, he kept going. He said, "Well, what else can I do except keep serving, except keep going out and preaching in the synagogues, except keep telling the word of Yahweh Shai in his crucifixion and pushing to the Gentiles their identity and to repent." He kept on, no matter what obstacle came his way, kept going, kept going, kept going.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the same mindset for every other believer.
That's right. Come on.
Diligence, man.
That's right, brother. Come on. We'll wrap it up after that precept.
This is Proverbs 26 and 16. It says, "The sluggard is wiser in his own conceit than 7 men that can render a reason." Do you want to
Break it down, bro.
Oh, basically, it goes into the rationale of somebody that makes excuses to not do what they're supposed to do. They have 7 goes into completion, so they have more reasons and different situations that give them excuse to not do what they're supposed to do than 7 men. So you can't be like that. There is no excuse. That's the mind frame, right? Let's just say somebody has the occupation of a swordsmith. This nigga ain't make no swords for like 8 years, and he tells you, "Oh, well, no, I didn't have the materials and blah, blah, blah." Like, bro, how you got that? How you got that job occupation and you don't even do what your title is? Like Joe Biden, he's supposed to be the president. This nigga falling up the stairs on airplanes and shit, man. You know what I
That
mean?
nigga's everything but a president.
Yeah, like come on, man. Or whatever it may be. The dude, I'm in the NBA, but this nigga like 400 pounds. He may be tall, but he can't. He don't even got a jump shot. He tell you he a professional basketball player. You see what I mean? It's that. Oh, well, I broke my whatever back in the day. Like, no, there's
Alright.
no excuse.
I got a question, bro. How how ideal is it for a person or a beast to eat how ideal is it for a person to eat every day?
It's optimal.
It's optimal, okay? It's optimal. Now, technically, you don't need
to, yeah.
food every day, but honestly speaking, you should eat every day, right?
Yeah.
You should, especially the weakened state we've been in. Fucking sheep, they eat every day, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, let's just say if you go one day without feeding, they may go, okay, cool, cool. They may have other alternatives. Let's just say if you go 5, 6 days without feeding your sheep, then what's gonna happen to them?
Yeah. Start starving.
They're gonna start starving. They're gonna fucking die. The Lord said, "Hey, if you love me, feed my sheep, man. You gotta feed the sheep as much as you can. And if you know you're gonna be off one day, then feed them twice as more that day. That way they have enough to eat. The next day you off." And with that, we gonna close out and giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the whole elect. Shalom and the Baba Bomb.
Baba Bomb.
Oh shit. Brothers, man, they was like that coming board up, man.
God, especially that bro.
Kazaki Bunny Howard, man, yeah, that brother be going in on that.